All right, so the pipe on the driver's side, there it is. There is a 90, and then it goes into a one piece to the throttle body that fits. We've got the intercooler mounted. This is the one pipe here, just to give you an idea of instructions. This is throttle body to intercooler. It says right here, throttle body. That connects there, intercooler. This side, intercooler with a hum hose, which you have, and this. We don't have that. They give us this. Well, that doesn't look like that, right? And again, if we look at the car here, I just saw him to have a handy dandy ladder.
I know what that pipe is.
What is it?
That's for their ram horn turbo kit.
Ah, so they just made a boo-boo. So this is where our pipe is right now. There's our turbo clocked. There's the pipe. Keep in mind I'm on a ladder. So if you see the camera move and a big crash, that means I'm no longer on the ladder. So yeah, that fits. Not at all. So we're basically gonna have to remake a pipe there. And look at that, there's George down there. Alright, so a lot of people are complaining of our music selection. This is gonna be our new background music George is working on. You ready? Climbing up my ladder once again. So we're making a piece. So we made a 90-degree piece with a 30-degree bend on the other end. This can clock a little bit if you need it.
Make sure we're flat all the way around.
It looks good from here.
Right there.
That way it's in one piece too. This piece, you can't really see it too much from the top. So we're just going to sand that down and paint it satin black. The coating of the pipes almost has a slight texture, but it's satin, so you won't even tell. And it'll be one piece, and it will fit. We won't have to wait for shipping. We won't have to complicate things and call the customer and call the manufacturer. We'll just do it the way we do it. Oh yeah, by the way, I know someone's going to ask. It hasn't been picked up yet. We're waiting for the tow truck. We're actually practicing for working on really jacked up 4x4s, so we're going to be using this tool a lot. So yeah, we keep going from top to bottom rather than running up and down on the lift. It's quicker just to go the ladder. Alright, so after some clearancing now, you can tell that we have probably maybe 1/4 inch of room, providing that pipe doesn't slip and move around. We should be good. Again, my thought process is to build the parts to fit the car. I don't like modifying cars to fit parts. But I mean, this is what we have and this is what we're working with. It's one of the best premium kits out there. And because it's all coated, we don't want to go cutting up the pipe and re-welding it and, you know, getting into that. So we clearanced a little bit on that area there. It's soft metal, so we haven't disturbed anything. Alright, so we're redoing lines right now. These were the fittings that came with the kit. They're a push lock, but I don't really like them. They don't feel like they're very good quality. The fittings that we use, we've been using them for a few years now, and we like them a lot. They're by a company called Red Horse, and they're one of the best quality ones without paying like the super premium price. But to be honest, I've tested them against the premium stuff, and I like it just as much. Well, what's nice is if you have extra fittings when you're building something, rather than guessing, should I use a 45 here or should I use a 30? We usually keep them in stock. Well, I just bought another $1,500 worth of fittings here, and it's so easy to go to the shelf, put the fitting on, and, you know, determine what the next size would be. Like right now, George is installing a straight, but let's say if he was going to put one side by side, you want to put a 45 and you put a 30 next to it, well, it'll make the lines come out parallel. So that's one of the things we do. And this line here is the black braided. You've seen us talk about this before. I don't like the stainless, the shiny metal line. It just looks kind of dated. And the blue and black fittings, obviously, I mean the blue and red fittings, I don't like them. So we use the black line, black fittings. It looks classy. It looks pretty high tech, so that's what we use. I'm not sure if Esther is going to be here today, so she is missing out on a couple of Starbucks. I think she is nursing her little girl, so I don't think she's going to be here today. So we are partying it up. We are living life. Especially you need it when you're doing this kind of thing. You need all the caffeine you can get. and then if it keeps running into issues, we might start on alcohol after this. But right now we're gonna stick to coffee because it seems like, I don't know if it's helping. Is it helping you?
So far, yeah. Good.
Yeah, he approves it, so we're gonna stick to that.
I got that guy there. With that in the 45, it's almost straight that way, which I don't need.
And you want it coming back towards the other one, right?
Yeah, I got that one straight down. The other one I'll run, so everything kind of goes through the same area.
Yeah.
You tie them all together, make everything tiny.
Exactly, nice. So we got a 90 and you're gonna put a 120 on the other side? There is a 150 in there too.
That's the one I just had.
The 120?
The 150.
Okay.
The 120, that looks pretty good. That points it right at these lines.
Yeah, then they can tie together.
Yep.
Nice. So good to have like extra fittings in there.
It is.
Soon we're gonna have like 20 of everything. So yeah, we got a ton of them in there. It's hard to imagine there's 1,500 bucks right there, but there is 20 of almost everything. 20 90s, 20 45s, 20 120s, and 20 150s, and then a couple of random ones that we needed to make the water lines fit right because they didn't work either.
Put that 90 away because that 90 is going to end up on.
You like the water line right here? See the extra fitting right there holding it? Yeah, buddy. Alright, I hope you can see this. The downpipe is pretty long. Obviously it's coming all the way to the tail of the transmission, and it's really bendy. I'll put a V-bend on here, but the amount of flex here, I'm afraid it might end up breaking. So what I've done is I've found a clamp here that fits around here because I don't want to cut and weld onto this coat in here and disturb it. So what I'm going to do is build a bracket from here to one of these bolts here, so it still has a bit of a flex, but it doesn't move that much that it's going to break the downpipe or, I mean, anything, even the manifold or a manifold stud. So we're going to tie that in there. I'm going to think of a way to attach it to there without being solid, because if we do build it solid, either the bolt might break or the bracket might break, one of the two. So I'll do something so it has a bit of a flex. So let me come up with a system that'll work. Alright, so here's my little bracket here. Made the bend go around the exhaust, and the tab is welded on. Then it's a plate on the transmission. You see it picks up 2 points. Big on the back side. This is one of our bushings here. It's a urethane piece that goes through and then bolts to it as a steel insert. You know, give that a wobble, George. It still has a bit of a movement to it, but it's now stiff. You see it moves, but it's not gonna, I mean, it had like about an inch of deflection. So that's our solution, and this is one of those things that nobody ever tells you about. You buy a turbo kit, you bolt it on, and yeah, it works, it makes boost, but over time things are going to break, things are going to fall off. So this is everything we can do to, you know, extra little precautions. You see some of the lines there, I'll show you them a little bit later. See the braided hoses with AN fittings. This is our drain right here. We're not using the drain that they supplied because that's no good either. So that is going to be a welded on piece there. They give you a bung that you drill and tap it. Well, when you tighten it or take it off some reason, it's probably going to come off in the pan, where if we weld that on, we have a permanent solution for the drain. So we're not doing it the way some do it. Again, there's a reason why when customers bring it to us, they want it done the LHT way, and we're not half doing anything. So that's our solution right there. That's our pipe that we remade. It's not tight, but that's the one that was missing. We made it one piece, and this actually goes up. It's loose right now, but it sits up in that pocket there. You can see that. We'll cut the plastic around it so it doesn't rub it. So it's coming together. So the old relocation thing is now mounted, and you see how we have the lines so they're all tidy and going in the right spot. Now they're AN lines, the proper braided line, not that 35 psi rubber line. The water lines are done. These were different. We had to change that to a 45 because the 90 was going to point it right down the frame. The kit, interestingly enough, doesn't come with wastegate dump tubes. I don't know why. So we are having to build those, which we'll be doing next. Probably build 2 tubes this way and possibly down this area. Again, we're building the kit, or assembling the kit, which partly building, and once we get everything where we need it, we're going to pull it back apart, make the clearances, wrap things, and make adjustments, and make sure basically everything is away from the heat. The fittings for the oil supply, let me show you what we have. So this is what they give us, this -4 line and this right here. This I don't think does anything. I think the way it goes, unless that's to kick the sensor over, but this goes in the block. The factory oil pressure sensor goes here and the line goes here. And like I said, that might just kick the sensor over.
Maybe it needs to move.
Well, that's all we have. And looking at the turbo here, if you're familiar with turbos, this fit in here, it's kind of dark, is a reversed flare, which kind of looks like the opposite to a let me see if I can show you what the opposite is. We have a million over here. Okay, it would be the opposite to this. Basically, imagine that would be the opposite to that. Anyway, I'm not going to complicate it. Well, it should have a restrictor in there. The short story is, they didn't give us enough stuff to put this together. I called them and said, yeah, no problem, they'll ship us one out, you know, 3 or 4 days. You don't run a restrictor, you have more oil going in here than the turbo can deal with and actually get from the drain. The turbo will bypass oil internally. You either have oil in the charge tube or smoke coming out the tailpipe. It's not good. You need a restrictor. You got to have it. So this is a good analogy. I just mentioned this to Esther. I've been out 3 times today, to the parts store, to the machine shop, to the place to get these kind of things. I think either 3 or 4 times. Anyway, I put about 100 miles on my truck back and forth. It's like tackling a job on your house. You start the job, you realize you got pieces missing, you go to Home Depot, you get a fit in, you get a piece of pipe, you get a tool, you come back, screw the piece in, next piece is wrong, back to Home Depot. That's what it's like with this. When I say a kit, I'm going to use that term loosely. So this is going to be a multi-part episode if you haven't realized already, because this would be a long, boring video. So we're still trying to basically put the pieces together before we can take it apart and clearance things. We need to heat wrap these lines. Can you see this? We need to heat wrap this, heat wrap this. I'm going to make adjustments to the fuse box and make some kind of metal heat shield around that. More likely a heat shield around the battery. This line and wire down here, this is going to have basically wrap or gold tape. We picked up the stainless to build wastegates right there.
Turn these into dump tubes.
Yeah, we're going to cut a big hole in the hood right about here and stick those up. They're going to be so sweet. That is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm in. These can't point down though, they got to point up.
No, we can switch that.
Yeah. What, like a hacksaw?
Yeah, we got a welder over there.
Whoop, done.
Yep, no big deal.
Couple of hole saws. So yeah, this is like the fun of doing a turbo. Again, we're kind of taking you along for the ride, and it's not to make it a long boring video, it's to show you what goes on with this kind of build. Even a kit is not a kit. It's kind of like a starter kit, and it can be a little bit frustrating, and it's only because we put a time frame on this stuff and we don't rush this. We're not cranking it out, we're not working against the clock, but we do have like an allotted time. And with this customer, he supplied some teen suspension, the sway bars, which we did first because it was kind of easy, they were in our way. Well, he wants to do one of our brake packages too. Well, if everything that we're doing goes long, it cuts down our time to do his extra things, which we really wanted to do. He's excited to bring the car down and wants to get everything done. So it would suck to work on this thing right to the last minute, work out the bugs, get it on the dyno, tune it, and say, there you go, we didn't finish the rest of your parts. Even though he kind of knows that, we have like a priority list. See our list over here. We have priority number 1, priority number 2, and priority number 3. Well, we kind of said we'd work through the list. This is one of my shopping lists, probably like the 3rd shopping list. So we really want to do everything. We enjoy this stuff, and we enjoy making the customer happy. So we want to say, there you go, it's done, everything's done. That's what we're trying to do. So if you can see my frustration a little bit. All right, that's the big radiator with the fans, and it looks like we have to elongate those holes in the fan stays, the radiator stays I mean. Looking at that, we have like a 1/4 inch gap. There's no heat there, so we've got room everywhere else. And our catch can is gonna mount here somewhere.
More that way.
Probably offset here. We usually put it in the middle on our kit, but we're gonna have to make a custom bracket and offset it a little. So we're trying to get a visual for the dump tubes right now. We're gonna make those somewhat follow each other. But if the first one fits, which is closer forward, the back one gives us more room because obviously the hood tapers down here. So if this one fits, this one has room for days. But again, we've got to make it fit and look correct. So it's the old double prop rod situation. So yeah, this rod over here is keeping the hood out of the way. As you see, hatch, yeah, still not gone. Yeah, anyway.
Tomorrow, everybody, tomorrow.
Yeah, another day. Every time we call them, yeah, another day. So this is making sure that we stay above this. We know we're safe. Also, this tape line is to make it look a lot more complicated. It's to make it look like we're making some measurements and using it for clearance. The hood actually comes up in the middle, obviously, but this again is giving us some visual on where the high and low spots are. So this, we get here, if we stay, you know, within 1/2 inch of this, we know we're in good shape. Any idea what this is? I'm gonna finish it and I'll show you. But that is actually kind of a pretty blue. So even more gold tape. Again, we're trying to reflect all the heat we can. If you don't know, this is Lisa, the librarian, hence the glasses. All right, look what just arrived, the new Milwaukee drill.